So, hi Miss, I'm Christian Pigakuma,
And I'm Raymar Gargar.
and we are here to discuss about the Customs Memorandum Order number 16 to 2016. So, so subject of this is the operational guidance in the implementation of Republic Act 10668, otherwise known as the An Act of the allowing foreign vessels to transport and co-load foreign cargoes to the domestic transshipment and other purposes. So in this part of the topic, Miss, kay it is objective is to operate the section 7 and 8 Joint Department Administrative Order or JDAO number 001/2016 implementing rules and regulation of the Republic Act 10668, otherwise known as the An Act of allowing foreign vessels to transport and co-load foreign cargoes for domestic transshipment and for other purposes. So an act, so they allow, Miss, nga ang foreign cargo kani siyang memorandum sa customs, Miss, kay allows nga ang foreign cargo, Miss, kay mo transship from domestic, Miss, diri sa Pilipinas, Miss. Like for example, ang foreign, Miss, kay pwede siya musud sa jurisdiction sa Pilipinas, Miss, to import or export from any domestic port, Miss. So definition of terms. For purposes of this order, the following terms are followed as the co-loading refers to the argument between two or more intellectual sea carriers bound to the specified destination agrees to load, transport, unload, and container van of cargo another bound to the same destination. So co-loading, Miss, kay kanang arrangement between two carriers, Miss. So panlitan, Miss, kanang Miss, ang naidua ka carrier, Miss, nga mag-allow, Miss, nga mag-transship international sea carrier from international or specified destination, Miss. Next is the recipient vessel. Refers to the foreign vessel that agrees to receive and carry foreign cargoes from transferor vessel to its port of final destination. Recipient vessel, Miss, murag fail na ko, Miss, kay mura rin siya kanang part siya sa transshipment, Miss. Kanang murag ikaduha siya nga vessel, Miss, nga muhatag palitan, Miss, kung sa Pilipinas padung Manila napaisa ka vessel from Manila to Cebu, which is the final destination of port, Miss, nga imong ihatod ang imuhang padulngan nga destination. Next is the transferor vessel. Refers to the foreign vessel that transfers its foreign cargoes to a recipient vessel for co-loading. So akong pagsabot ani, Miss, kay transfer its foreign cargoes to a recipient. Ang foreign cargoes, Miss, iya i-transfer ngadto sa recipient vessel moving to its final destination, Miss. So next is the coverage. The rules shall apply the connection of the section co-loading and import cargo, section 7 co-loading of export cargo, and section 8 co-loading of FT containers of JDAO number 001/2016. So ang coverage, Miss, murag mao ni siya ang pasabot, Miss, nga ang kaning tulo mo ni siya ang naka-cover sa katong memorandum, Miss. Operational provision. So first is the import, submission of electronic inward foreign manifest. So katong imo import dapat ma-manifest ang foreign manifest siya, Miss, kay para may bawaan kung mauba jud na ang maabot diri sa ato ang country. Next is the IFM submission shall be accordance with the existing regulation, shall be submitted to both transit port and the final port to discharge bearing the appropriate registry number and carrying vessel. The IFEM kay mura na siya og kanang magpasabot, Miss, nga ang kaning nga vessel kay muni ang mugawas ug mao ni siya ang moabot. Next is the transferor vessel should submit the corresponding IFM to the transit port loading code 24 in its cargo intended for loading. Next is the recipient vessel should submit the corresponding IFM to co-loaded cargoes to this final port loading code number 23. Kani siya, Miss, kay nani siya mga code, Miss, para maabot yun siya sa yung final destination, Miss, nga dili siya magkaguliyang, Miss, nga mas smooth ra siya. So second is permit for loading. The foreign shipment operator of agent for the foreign recipient vessel shall request for a permit of co-loading in the office of Deputy Collector for the operational equivalent office for the port concerned in using the form attached to the Annex B, level 12 hours before the arrival vessel. So, dapat ang foreign shipment operator miss kay magstorya na siya daan before 12 hours nga moabot kung ang ship sa ilaha. Naa diri ang permit for co-loading is first is the application of date and time. Next is the estimated arrival of the transferor vessel. So estimated time arrival ni so mga banabanan nila nga unsa oras sa maabot ang transferor vessel. Next is the estimated time arrival of the recipient vessel. So pila ang estimated po nila nga time maabot ang recipient vessel is details of the inferior recipient vessel such as not limited to the vessel operator, vessel name, voyage number, and registry number. So kani miss kay very kuan kani siya miss kinahanglanon kay naa diri kung unsa ang imong gigamit nga shipping line, unsa ang vessel, pangan sa vessel para ma-identify siya, ang iyang number ug ang iyang registry number para makasud siya sa ato ang country. Next is the port of loading. Port of loading is mo ni siya kung asa ka mag-load sa imuhang mga i-ship. So port of discharge of goods. So port of discharge kung asa ang imo ikuhaon ng imuhang goods miss. Next is the quantity marks foreign cargoes agreed to co-loading. Bill lading use attached notice to imported cargoes for co-loading. So kinahanglanon po diri ang original copy of the official receipt issued by the collective division concerned as the payment of the administrative fee. So katong receipt kuno nga kinahanglanon para makabayad ka sa imong administrative fee. So next is the manual discharge. The permit of co-loading shall practicable upon the office of deputy and the operation ports for the collector immediately. So next is the manual discharge to be discussed by Mr. Raymar Gargar.
So manual discharge. So 3.1 the office of the deputy collector of the operations or equivalent office of the port of discharge follow. The procedure of the manual discharge under the Bureau's E2M system for cargo subject of co-loading. The registration number and date as known as the E2M manual discharging interface shall be corresponding control number and date in the permanent for co-loading. The online release system or OLRS instruction received by the port terminal operation for the Bureau shall be tagged as a misrouted in their system so that gate pass need to not be issued by terminal operations such as cargo. So ang ari daw kay mo ni ang mga mahata mo ni ang terminal nga mo provide o permit nga mga operations sa ang mga cargos kay okay na daw o pwede na mo mag-discharge sa mga gamit. So next is arrival, discharge, and loading of co-loaded cargos. So the transfer vessel shall submit the hard copies of inward foreign manifest. So hari daw kay transfer vessel siya. Ang mga ni transfer vessel kay ihatag na mga hard copies nila sa inward foreign ang mga gi-manifest sa foreign manifest of the good in there to be co-loaded to the customs senior boarding officers upon arrival. The copies of prescribed by current regulations. So dapat ang mga ilang panifest or ilang mga papilis kay yadto nila sa customs senior boarding officer. So next, the customs senior boarding officer shall proceed with the discharging formulates by prescribed of the current regulations. The port terminal operation shall place transit containers together for the purpose of the accessibility. So The containers of co-loading shall not be included in the port terminal operations automated systems such as terminal appointment, booking system, gate pass, or etc. Since the containers are for temporary movement only, so ang containers daw na ilang ibakuan kay so ilang mga containers kay contemporary daw sa nga move sa kay wala pa na dagan o kuan muragi pa kuan pa mga gate pass muragi pan check mo nang temporary sa. So the foreign ship operator or agent of the foreign recipient vessel shall submit their base service section or equivalent. So ang mga foreign ship operator or ilang mga agent kay dapat mo-submit sila sa ilang service section sa office of the port para makita or nasla insurance nga makuanan nga sugod sila. So next is the port terminal operation shall ensure that only cargoes indicated in the approval permit of co-loading or them to load it at the reserve vessel. So ang mga terminal so ang port of terminal operation kay i-ensure din nila nga ang ilang mga manifest nga gatag kay sakto ra gyud or mao ra gyud ang mga cargos nga ihatod kay or ang kung sa kwan pa mga nalista nga mao ra gyud dapat ang ipasud balik. So next is the office of the deputy collector of the operations or equivalent office at the port discharge or loading shall send via electronic mail and where the tax discharge and loading report collect imported cargoes with 6 hours after departure of the recipient vessel. So ang mga tax nga isendo nila sa vessel nga nay maabot kay mo kon og 6 hours usa nila isend or usa madawat sa mga vessel nga ang recipient nga departure nga vessel. So next is annexes in order shall form part of the required documents or vessel with arriving, discharging, or loading at the Philippine port shall be submitted to the Freight Bureau office or officer as necessary. So next is notice of discharge when coming from the Philippines port and processing it to the other Philippine port. The foreign chief operations or agent of the foreign vessel carrying foreign cargoes to its final port of discharge shall submit the base service section or equivalent office as the transport port or subport concerned by notice of discharge the next Philippine port of the call prayer of department using form attached or Annex A. So usad daw sila mo kuan og usa ka fort kay dapat pakita nila ang ilang or submit nila ang ilang base service section or equivalent office ay submit nila dito nga departure nga isugdan sila nga departure sa ka port. So next is clearance of the foreign vessel to the Philippine port. The Affairs and Inspection Division of the equivalent office shall issue a clearance of the foreign vessels the Philippine port upon submission of documentary requirements prescribed by current regulations together with the applicable annexes in this order. So diri kay clearance of the foreign vessel. So diri kay gihatag na ang clearance sa ilang foreign vessel nga gatag lang clearance sa foreign vessel nga pwede na daw mag Philippine nga mukuha na siya sa Philippine port kay na-approve na ilang mga clearance. So next is office of the deputy collector of operations at final port of discharge. The office of the deputy collector's operation at the final port of discharge shall inform the office of the deputy collector of the operation at the transport immediately upon arriving of the recipient vessel or foreign vessel carrying its foreign cargo to its final final port discharge. So inig-discharge daw sa ka port kay napad inig-abot daw sa mga port kay dili daw inon largo-largo maabot. So moadto pa sa lain usa gyud daw sa final port kung asa gyud siya ihatod ang ilahang goods nga gikan sa foreign. So kani daw ako, so ang pasabot kay kani mga foreign vessel nga port kay dili daw mal example di largo gadto sa Cebu kay iagi pa sa Manila nga nahantod sa final discharge na port. So next kay export cargo shall covered an export declaration of the considered port of loading. We are not passing to another Philippine port of entry for the domestic transfer of discharge to foreign vessel. So export daw kay mo na ni ang mga foreign cargo na declaration nga concerned of loading diri sa ato nga port nga mga foreign nga gipadala gikan sa foreign port of destination. Ay sorry miss, nasayop dai ko miss. Export kay mo din yung mga gikan sa tuwa nga ipagawas kay hatod dito sa mga foreign port sa gawas. Sorry miss. So next is empty containers. For purposes of this order, an empty foreign containers van going to or coming from the Philippine port or going to or coming from a foreign port and being transshipped between two Philippine ports shall be allowed. Those foreign vessels shall be allowed to load or co-load empty containers in the following instances. So, from any port in the Philippines to any port of the entry for the tuning aboard for use to the stuffing of the Philippine exports. So, in loading import cargo from the port of entry of transshipment, port to the port final destination, and when loading export cargo from the port or origin in the Philippines to another Philippine port, where the same shall be immediately exported or unutilized for the stopping of the Philippine exports. So next is the Bureau of Customs shall issue special permit to load the domestic movement with reference to the domestic lead in case the empty container is transferred from the Philippines port to another, and special permit to load and immediate exportation. So diri daw kay murag gitagaan sila permit kung naa sila nga ang mga empty containers nga naay kwaon nga mga gamit or goods sa lain nga Philippine port para i-export daw sa atong i-export daw para padala sa lain country. So next is boat note. The requirements for the boat note is thirdly dispensed with for purposes of co-loading covered by this order. So okay. So sorry miss, okay ko nasabtan sa boat note miss. So next is administrative fee. Administrative fee amounting of the 500 shall be paid at the collection division of the concerned port. So admission fee kay na siya fee 500. So next is penalty. There shall be penalties of 10,000 for non-compliments of master or agent vessel the requirement perspective on this order. So mga order daw nga wala natupad miss kay nay fee o nay penalty nga 10,000. So next is reports. The office of the deputy collector of the operation or quality office and port terminal operations at the port concerned shall submit a monthly report of co-loading transaction to the deputy commander. So mga port daw nga nay mga gipang load or co-loading kay dapat na sila mag-report sila monthly dito sa division of concerned port. So next is audit day sa deputy commissioner day. So next kay all other import and export transaction not covered by the order shall be subject to existing applicable process rules and regulations. So if any prohibition of the orders subsequently declared invalid or constitutional, other provision thereof which one is affected thereby shall remain is full force and effect. So all orders, rules, and regulations and other issues of part thereof inconsistent with provision of the order are hereby replaced or modified accordingly. This order shall be taken immediately.
So, part of base service section, notice of discharge. So, mo ni siya, miss. Ay, di man maklaro, miss. Pero murag mo ni siya mga imo ipang fill up, miss, if mag notice of discharge ka. Vessel operating, shipping line, vessel name, voyage number, registry number, estimated date and time of arrival, last foreign or Philippine port of call as applicable, next Philippine port of call, quantity, container size, and the quantity, other controller types. So office to the permit of co-loading, muna siya mga pilapan, miss. Notice of imported cargos for co-loading, maura to siya, miss. So maura to, miss, kanang salamat, miss, sa pagpaminaw niya. May tag na nami nindot nga nastorya sa mong report, miss.
Thank you, miss.
Sa maura to na sabtan. Thank you, bye bye.